citizen of Zimbabwe has a right to speak to. In this regard, we have our invitee here, Linda K. Svanyoni. As a citizen of Zimbabwe, she has a right to actually express her concerns to this committee as the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Health and Child Care. And we have a right as a committee to represent as one of our functions and also to have an oversight role as well as making the laws which speak to the challenges we face as a nation. Therefore, we are here today as a committee. We'll begin by introducing ourselves and them introducing their team. Thereafter, she will take an oath, and the team, those who are whom she's going with, or if she's alone, she will take an oath and then present a case. I'll begin by introducing myself. Speaking is Dinglizo Chuma, Member of Parliament for Entumbane Emakandeni, the acting chairperson for the Health and Child Care Committee. Our substantive chair is Honorable Dr. Lapote. Over to you, honorable members. Introduce yourselves.
Morning. My name is Fortune Daniel Molokele. I'm the Member of Parliament for Ande Central Constituency. I'm a member of this committee.
Morning to all. My name is Silvester. I'm a member of Parliament for Ande Central Constituency.
Morning, everyone. My name is Makoni, Member of Parliament, Province, member of this committee.
Morning, I'm Daud Ndiweni, MP for Runga Central.
Good morning. My name is Precious Chimamasa, Member of Parliament for Bangura Constituency. Good morning. My name is Dr. Pashamanita from the Central Province for the group of this committee.
Morning. My name is Josephine Shana, MP for National University Province.
My name is Goodluck Baramba, MP National University.
Morning,
Morning, my name is Dr. Asais, MP for Zimbabwean.
I'm retired MP for Scout constituency. I'm Remo Machimbura this morning, MP for Zimbabwe.
Good morning, I am.
Our staff first.
Morning, I'm Edna Mapurose, the committee clerk. Good morning, I am Linda Case, a citizen of Zimbabwe, and over there is my colleague, Robert Chaiba.
Okay. You can introduce yourselves. You can go and join the photo over there. If there's something you want to contribute.
SlyMedia Productions.
Thank you very much. I think we now feel at home. We have introduced ourselves. Let's get on to the business of the day, where we are receiving oral evidence from Linda Svanyoni on issues related to the age of consent. We'll ask Linda, our visitor, to take an oath, as well as the person we are going with, if she is to give evidence. She will also take an oath. Feel free to do so. Thank you. You can stand and raise.
I should raise it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I, Linda Sibanyoni, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. Over to you.
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for gracing me with an opportunity to meet you all and provide oral evidence and just receive clarity from the issues that were raised that had all or most of us raised in this committee a few months ago. So without further ado, I'll just go through the email. If anyone has got any questions, because I was the one who was asking more questions for more clarity, but if you have questions, do feel free to stop me and let's discuss.
I think we'll have questions after your presentation. Your presentation and the questions will follow. Appreciate it.
Okay.
And then, if you are referring to this email, we have gone through it.
You've gone through it.
As a committee.
Okay. All
So
right.
I think we have to go through the pointers and raise the dependent issues that are contained, and then we'll deliberate.
Okay, all right. That's wonderful if you've gone through the email. One of the pertinent questions that that was raised through all this, or rather that stood out when I read the statement that was issued on the 8th of March, is point number 1, the age of consent and the use of the term sexually active minors. I do believe a minor cannot be called sexually active. I think it's inappropriate, and considering that having sex with a minor is rape or statutory rape, depending on the ages. So that use of the word sexually active minor took me aback. I do not know if that's something that is condoned or something that's regularly used in the health sector, maybe because I'm not a health professional, so I'm asking from a layman point of view, what is a sexually active minor?
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Manuel. The committee is not responsible for the English language. However, if you consider the reality on the ground in Zimbabwe, there is empirical research. If you go to some of the organizations that deal with sexual reproductive and health rights, there is empirical research that in Zimbabwe and indeed in the rest of Africa, children under the age of consent are sexually active. So even with HIV statistics, it clearly shows that in Zimbabwe and indeed in the rest of Africa, HIV is actually winning the war in the recent years in terms of infection rates, prevalence rates for children between 15 and 24 years old, adolescents. So when you go to the statistics, it's clear that minors are sexually active in Zimbabwe. So the health committee is describing this matter from a point of view of access to health care. But from a legal point of view, the health committee is not oblivious to the reality that there is the law of age of consent which talks about statutory rape. No one is allowed to have sex if they are below 16 years. The constitution, the law of Zimbabwe is clear. But that's not what the health committee is concerned about. The health committee is concerned about access to health care for minors who are sexually active. I think for those who are good with English, it is their responsibility to advise the health committee to develop a phrase that appropriately describes what is happening on the ground. But from a layman's point of view, that is the best words we have at the moment. maybe an expert can advise the health committee so that we avoid the confusion. But I want you to be clear that the perspective, the lens that the health committee is using is access to healthcare. It's not the statutory rep. So there are two different concepts. Anyway, I will ask other colleagues to also try to explain.
Thank you. Honorable.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Leader. I think the use of sexually active infants, minors, I'm sorry for that, is merely to speak to the fact that there are minors who are sexually active. There isn't a defined medical nomenclature to define minors who are sexually active. We also speak of sexually active adults, because by virtue of being an adult, it does not necessarily mean that you are sexually active, because there are adults who actually practice celibacy, who appreciate that. So there isn't a defined medical nomenclature to define sexuality and its activity at various stages of development for people. Just an answer.
And then we'll be the last speaker, and then we'll move forward.
I also wanted to make a clarification to say perhaps the meaning that the committee takes, acknowledges that there are minors who are sexually active, who require health or medical attention. But the responsibility of going into the reasons of the causes of the sexual activity is not the one that was being addressed. But the concern is that it is acknowledging that these people, they require medical or health attention, or else we are condemning them. But as to the causes of why, the reasons behind their sexual activity is another domain.
Doc, you want to raise your voice?
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't know maybe I think I could take that sexual minor. So could there request to give us a little.
From my understanding, calling a minor sexually active, to me it automatically translates into rape unless we've had, or it's been proven that they're having sex with another minor. So to call a minor sexually active, to me as an individual, it screams rape before it's been proven otherwise. That's where I was coming from.
Okay. As the doc is suggesting,
Yeah.
do you have an alternative or a substitution term we can actually use in place of sexual active minors? So that
I'll have to get back to you, but I'm sure I can probably come up with a term. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over to you, Honorable.
Maybe all I wanted to, thank you very much, Linda. All I wanted to say was the committee mentioning sexually active minors doesn't mean condonation. To say we are condoning the minors having sex. But we're just mentioning it as it is.
Thank you so much. It's very interactive.
Yeah, and I think, Linda, insofar as it being termed statutory rape, if a minor is having sex with an adult, you are right. And that's not our forte as a committee. I guess you appreciate what every other member is trying to. Our concern is the health aspects of a minor who is engaged in sexual activity, whether with another minor or with an adult. But just the sexual activity and the health implications associated with it is what this committee is seized with.
Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I've been adequately answered. Let's move on to two.
in the letter, the letter that I'm referencing, it made a statement on adults as a hindrance to minors receiving sexual reproductive health. And back to sexually active minors, right? It says that the stance by the Portfolio Committee on Health and Childcare, by saying they're aiming to provide access to medical attention for sexually active minors without the hindrance of any adult. This raises a question that have sexually active minors been denied healthcare before? Okay. Will the minors now be afforded capacity to consent and independently make decisions surrounding all issues to do with their health care? How will they pay for these services?
That's a question to the committee.
Yes.
Can we? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need a response from the members of parliament. The answers are there. Over to you, Andrew.
I think you do raise pertinent points insofar as in our desire to have these minors receive adequate and sufficient health care. They also need to still remain protected, and I sort of want to agree with you that in the absence of an adult, probably that protection then will actually falls away. And as you have said in your earlier remarks that you want us to discuss, it has been said by a few members around the table that our concern really was to say they should not be denied access to health. But in doing so, we are alive to the fact that we may need to refine how that process is arrived at and how that outcome is best achieved by making sure that we don't, in the process, I think Honorable Molekeli did mention that, we don't end up having the culprits, particularly the adults, who then engage in sexual activities with the minors, being going scot-free. So we are alive to that fact. But appreciate that our need of the hour is to say, have these minors been catered for in terms of health care? Appreciating that there are modalities to be worked around that provision of health care.
Thank you so much. Over to Honorable Molekeli and then over to you.
Okay, I'll answer in one or two ways. I think the first one is that there is research that clearly explains that here in Zimbabwe, at least 6,000 primary school children get pregnant here. The Minister of Education came to Parliament 2 years ago and confirmed that. And today I would assume the statistics is beyond 10,000 here. These are records from the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education of primary school girls getting pregnant. So there is no debate in Zimbabwe anymore whether we've got sexually active minors or not. That one is obvious. It's scientifically proven beyond reasonable doubt. So let's not park that one. It's actually out. It's finished and planned. Two, we do not want to destroy the futures of these primary school girls by allowing them to become mothers at a tender age. Because once it happens that way, the rest of the country will pay dearly for that. So, as a health committee, our responsibility is not to arrest the perpetrators of the pregnancies. There are other committees that are dealing with that. But us, we're worried about avoiding the health care issues related to minors getting pregnant and complications related to that. So we want a 12-year-old person, a girl who is in grade 6, getting pregnant, having adequate health support. And research is clear that most minors do not have the ability to convince their parents to support them to access health care. Because under normal circumstances, a guardian or parent should accompany. Traditionally, there is things like vanatete. Due to urbanization, they no longer exist. So these minors are stranded. So as a health committee, that's our responsibility to improve access to health care for them. And for your information, it is actually policy here in Zimbabwe, in South Africa, and everywhere else in Africa, that primary school girls and secondary school girls can access health care related to sexual health and reproductive rights, including contraception. It's actually policy here in Zimbabwe. If you are 13 years old, you can actually access contraceptive health support from the clinics in Zimbabwe. So it has nothing to do with this committee. It's actually addressing healthcare concerns. Then the other issue that you need to understand is that the United Nations, through UNAIDS, has a strategy to end AIDS by the year 2030. I hope you are aware of that. And the pillars of that strategy are 3. 90% of the people in the whole world should know their HIV status. 2, 90% of the people in the whole world who know their status, that they are HIV positive, should access treatment, which means ARVs. 3, 90% of all the people who are accessing treatment should achieve viral load suppression. In that way, we are able to end AIDS by 2030. Zimbabwe is a signatory to this strategy. We believe in it, we have domesticated it. Then research is showing that the highest infection rates in Zimbabwe are in the age group between 15 and 24. And the majority of those people who are 15 and 24 are girls or are female. So AIDS or HIV is winning in that front. The most vulnerable population group is that group. So using logic, the healthcare committee, that's our responsibility to ensure that we protect the girl child. It is not our responsibility to address the moral issues around minors having sex. Our responsibility is to ensure that once a minor has sex and is exposed to STIs, HIV, pregnancy, and so on, we get involved. So that's where the distinction comes in. I hope you understand where we're coming from. With regards to other modalities on the ground, access to healthcare should be free for primary healthcare services and so on. That's our vision. That's our wish, especially me as a legislator. That's my wish, that we should give free access to primary health care. Because health is a right. It must not be commodified. It must not be given any monetary value. Life is a right. So if you say to a 13-year-old, you will die because of an illegal abortion, because you have to pay for access to health care, it's really unacceptable. So at the end of the day, you need to understand where we're coming from. As a civil society person, your responsibility is to help us as a committee to come up with practical ideas to ensure that we balance the two. We are not condoning, we are supporting. And any citizen like you is welcome to be innovative, to be creative, and suggest ideas on how we can protect the right to health as juxtaposed to statutory rape and other moralist issues. Can you see where I'm coming from?
Thank you so much. I think Dr.
On your consent, I see the consent itself, but the short of it is that the committee does not seek to remove the guardian or the parents from accompanying the minor, but at the same time, it acknowledges that in Zimbabwe we are now having child-headed families where there is no other. And the head of that family, who is also a minor, should be in a position to be allowed to access help without asking, where is your father, where is your mother, because the mother is not there. So these children, they are abused, they are staying as a family, and they go to the clinic or hospital, they are asked, where is the mother? And that treatment is not extended to them. So we are condemning them in that process. So the issue is now, what mechanism can we have to ensure that they access health, being minors who are not having the guardians. Perhaps you can also offer a solution.
Thank you, Doc, for the input. Over to you, Honorable.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Chair. I think this we are not debating something new. If you refer to what is called deep competence, if you read about it, this debate occurred before until some resolutions were made, where a child is competent enough to understand the professional advice. There's no need for consent, and also where a child who continue having sexual intercourse, whether with contraception or without, they agree that the child can get medication. There were some guidelines that were put in place under that guilt competence. If you go and read about it, it's not something new. We are debating things that were okay. Some, and it talks about minors in that if you read it carefully, it talks about minors. That way that you were saying, well, why do you refer to a minor? They talk about a minor. And where a minor is married, they talk about that. A minor can be married, they talk about it. So I think we can refer to what happened in other settings. And we model our own setting along these lines. Because when a young person's intelligence is increasing, the rights of the parents, according to Gillick, falls away. Because the person is now understanding what is happening, so they can consent. Because they understand what is happening. That is what I say on the chair.
Thank you so much for the input.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. The issue we are discussing is very important. It is a thorny issue, especially to us as mothers, because we are the ones who suffer very much when our children get HIV, when our children are impregnated. Now, what happens is that when a minor gets pregnant, or when a minor gets an STI and visits the hospital, you know the behavior of our nurses. They will say, say, why does it is not treated. And this is what we are aiming at. We are saying, when a minor gets an STI, he should be free to visit the hospital and get treatment. I think this is what we are talking about. That free access to health, which is not happening now. The attitudes of our nurses, of our medical staff, has to change. To say a 12-year-old gets an STI and visits a hospital, he should be able to be treated without any persons. That is what we are aiming at. My friends have already taken my words from me. We've talked about child-aided families. We have people who are living on their own. Should those people allowed to die? Because there is no mother who should take that child to the hospital. So this is where the discussion is centered around, my dear friend. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think I've noticed, no?
Let's look at it like this, Miss. Let's just say they are minors. I think the problem is that we're just looking at the girl child only, but there is a boy child again. Let's say the girl child is a minor and the girl child is a minor. Then they use sexual intercourse. And then what happens is that we are saying, as a community, we are saying, we are not saying they should be just neglected or we are promoting they must do that. And we are saying they are doing it. If they are doing it, let the health sector allow them whenever national government that girl child or the boy child, it cannot be the girl child who gets STI. And even the boy child can get STI. Let him be treated. And after the treatment, I think the best way is, let's say, the counselors counsel them and rather than to say the health committee is promoting, we are not promoting, yes, but we are trying by all means to show it's not right.
Thank you so much. I think we are actually doing justice to this subject. Over to you.
Thank you, wonderful. I hear what you're all saying, and thank you for clarity on some of the issues that I've raised. But I've got a few questions concerning an issue raised, attitudes of nurses. It then has raised the question, is it not more to do with awareness? Should the focus not be on the dangers of sexual activity at a young age more than freely saying, 12-year-olds, it's okay, go and get your implants, your family planning pills? Is the focus not, shouldn't it be centered more on awareness than freeing up this space? And you spoke of the Gillick report. I have read it, but then it has its loopholes, I must say, because if a 12-year-old is supposedly, according to that report, can consent to sex because they've reached a certain age of maturity, intelligence is high, and why can't they also be allowed to drive, for instance? Why, especially in Zimbabwe, why can't they be then allowed to drive? Why can't we allow 12-year-olds to drive based on the same reasoning that, oh, they're of high intelligence, so if they can consent to sex, surely teaching a child to drive at 12 should be easier. Why are they even not allowed to get IDs at 12? Why are they still protected? But we are saying it's okay for them to consent and protect themselves against falling pregnant and all sorts of STIs without the guardians and the parents being very involved in this. As a young lady, I will give a bit of a reality of my own situation. In high school, at 13, 14, I had peers who were already on all sorts of, what do you call them, family planning methods. But these peers went to the clinics, to the hospitals with their mothers. Their mothers were involved in this decision. It wasn't a decision that a 13-year-old would just wake up, I'm going to have sex now, yeah, let me just walk into the clinic and no questions asked by the nurse, who are you having sex with? What are you trying to achieve here? It was a decision that was made at their homes, and they walked into these family planning clinics with their mothers. So when we remove adults, I do understand that they're child-headed households. But before the nurses, that's why I'm coming back to awareness, maybe before the nurses then just administer these family planning methods and all sorts of treatment, can we then find out what is truly going on? Because this opens a whole can of worms. It's got a lot of loopholes. An abuser and a child being abused he can manipulate, or she can manipulate a child to go and get themselves on on the implant or whatever, on the pills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Your hand was up. You follow, and then.
Thank you, Linda. I think just a point of correction. We, as a committee, we are not advocating for the exclusion of the parent or the guardian. That's not what we are advocating for. We are saying we are aware of the fact that there are minors who may be having this problem and they do not have a guardian or a parent. They need to be catered for. Take, for instance, the street kids. If you go around and you realize that this child actually is exposed to this sort of activity, they need access to help. So just to correct you there. Then, insofar as other activities are concerned, driving and other issues where we still have to monitor the young children, the difference is that sexual intercourse by nature is a private thing. You will only know that someone has been engaged either when they tell you that I've been engaged, or there's a problem in the form of an unwanted pregnancy, or there's an STI. But sexual intercourse by nature is a private thing. So we can't control it before we know it. But I know that my child wants to drive, so I'll say no. Because I know that. I can see it. I have the car key, so I can say no. But I don't know what my child is doing right now. At school, I'm not there. It has to come after a problem. So we are trying to be proactive, to say, in the event that this unwanted occurrence does happen, what do we do? Then the third issue is the issue of attitudes and of the healthcare workers. We are caught up in between two worlds, the modern world and the ancient world. A lot of us belong to yesterday, where we could not openly discuss sexual issues with our parents. And a lot of these health workers, they belong to this community. They are part and parcel of this culture. They have the same understanding that you and me have insofar as what kids must and must not do. So the first thing, I'm a health professional, but I'll tell you, it's foreign to me that 12-year-old kids are engaged in sexual, regardless of the fact that I'm part and parcel of the health system. It's foreign to me. And it's normal for these health workers to be astonished when they come across such things. So we are trying to bridge the gap between yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And you appreciate there is Instagram, there is Twitter, there is Facebook, there is WhatsApp, there is email. Our kids are exposed to all of these. So they look at a Tony in England and they say, oh, 13-year-olds in England were involved in sexual intercourse. Why not me at Mrewa High? I can do it. I have no control. So there is a lot. We are playing a catch-up game. The world is moving. We must also try to move with it.
Thank you so much. Also, there is a role played by the nature-nurture controversy, where the body organs start speaking to the unknown. As such, it creates adventurous avenues. Thus, the youngsters find ourselves in such a precarious situation where people at a tender age, at the age of 12, they start exploring other avenues. I recognized you over there, and you are honored member there, in top there, in that order.
I think what I wanted to say is that I just wanted to say sexual intercourse is not done in an open space, it's private. Yes. Someone who's normal. That's what I wanted to say. Is the point I'm saying.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I just wanted to respond. Of course, one of the responses about the bill came was responded by the Honorable. But my issue is on awareness. You know, as a practitioner, at times you don't get those the people who should be given that information. For example, if a man comes to buy morning after, the reason is the person who needs the morning after maybe is a minor and doesn't want to come and collect. But you want to highlight to the person who takes the medication that the dangers that can occur if you take that medication frequently. Because a dose of a morning after maybe is equivalent to 14 tablets or 12 to 14 tablets of those which are used on a daily basis. But a minor is exposed to those 14, maybe comes back again tomorrow and get 14, but we don't have the opportunity to cancel the right person who is taking the medication, because the person is afraid, is not supposed to come because of the laws. They are saying you can't go, you need a parent to go there, and then they send somebody to collect. I just wanted to give you a practical example of what happened in the endanger, how it endangers those young people. And we want to try and make them open, and then they know the dangers of those practices. But we don't have that opportunity to do so, because they are afraid.
Thank you so much, Bravo. I recognize you, Doc.
I wanted to perhaps to clear the fear. There was a question of the non-explanations or the child being asked to say. The idea of the committee is not to say the minor will go in, just say I'm having this, then the drug is dispensed or the treatment is dispensed. No. It also perhaps acknowledges, the committee acknowledges that that medical profession, before they treat any patient, there's counseling. So perhaps we would come in to say, as part of the counseling, some perhaps nurses, whether male or female nurse, they might also have cultural inclinations, where in addition to the professional counseling that they learned, when the minor comes in, they first of all put themselves as a parent, and then reacts in a manner that might be inconsistent with the counseling that is required. But they do counseling, and I believe it's also a mechanism that when the minor walks, as part of the counseling, the practitioner would want to know how that happened before treatment. And if there is a rape case or it's an issue of a rape case, then that practitioner has got a responsibility to bring to the attention of the authority. But that's not the concern of the committee. The committee wants the child to access help under good conditions.
Thank you so much. I recognize
Linda, I think when you come to assist us as a committee, the recommendation you wanted to give us, I think I would request after this discussion, tell us your recommendations. What do you recommend? What should we say? What should we do?
Thank you so much. I think Honorable Doc Matores has taken the words out of my mouth, because that was going to be almost the summing up activity to say, can we have your recommendations as a propagator of this motion, so that we hear your views, your take on the matter, so that we move forward as a team. Thank you so much for the contributions. Over to you. Contributions that we made. Thank you.
Thank you for your responses. Yes, my recommendations were going to come after we sat down, because I was asking questions that needed clarity too. So now that we are on the same page, allow me to go and digest all that you have said, write to you again, and maybe we sit down again and discuss it further. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Chairman, maybe before you wrap up.
Okay.
Tanasa Kunzvisisa from this room, but the committee is not worried about the legal age of consent. But we are worried in a problem they are falling pregnant. And isusu tikubatira problem iyo yabva ipapo. Linda kana achinga achikwanisa nevamwe vake kuti tingadzivirira sei kuti vana vedu vaite zvatinotoda isu vabereki vavo kuti vasamboita sex vari vadiki ikoko. I think panasiya iyoyo tingaida. If we can have that, what can we do Zvikatodaro nesuwo committee we will not even talk about this subject. We are talking about it those who beat the ground. But we are beat the family. In their sexual behaviors and things like that.
Thank you so much.
Okay, as part of the way forward, in December 2013, in Cape Town, Zimbabwe, as represented by the Minister of Health, signed a regional commitment, I don't know whether you know about it, on comprehensive sexuality education. Right. It's got targets until 2020, where it speaks on government commitments to improve access to healthcare and sexual, reproductive and health rights information, especially for adolescents. So, after that, because it's targeting ministers of education and ministers of health, when it came to implementing the targets on the ground in Zimbabwe, one of the issues was how to teach comprehensive sexuality education in primary schools. And Zimbabwe, there was a controversy. So we actually avoided some of the targets set in the commitment. And it's called the ESA commitment on comprehensive sexuality education. ESA meaning Eastern and Southern Africa. It's covering 21 countries across Eastern and Southern Africa, and Zimbabwe is the signatory. It's between 2013 and 2020. So there are targets to improve access to information and education. And Zimbabwe, when it came to education, there were a lot of moral issues, like you tried to raise today. And we've decided to cherry pick. And the net effect of that is we're still not addressing the reality on the ground. Any researcher worth their salt will tell you that across Zimbabwe today, there is sex in primary schools. If there is a researcher who tells you that there is no sex, they should go to heaven or some other utopian planet. But here in Zimbabwe, it's a fact, it's a truth. So, as part of your recommendations, I would advise you strongly to avoid the moralist approach, the religious, cultural approach, because it does not address the concerns of this committee. We are not a church organization. We are not about to start a church. We are worried about people dying because of lacking access to health care. So as a committee, we would want recommendations that speak to the interests of this committee. Our ministry is called Ministry of Health and Child Care. We care for these children. So we want to protect them in whatever possible way. So as you notice today, we are very humble as a committee. We are very engaging. We are open-minded. We are looking forward to your ideas, practical ideas that can help Zimbabwe to move forward. Also, it will be in your interest to also look at the other organizations that are in this area. Go to their websites and check. I'm available to refer you to some of the organizations that are dealing, like REPSI, that are dealing with children's rights. And you will see that this is actually a 5 to 6 year old debate here in Zimbabwe. I think one of the honorables raised that issue. It's a challenge how to balance the two. Because there is health, there is justice and legal issues. And the other committee dealing with justice and legal issues, they will be very strong on statutory level. That is their mandate. But us, forgive us. We are clear that the age of consent should not be lowered. It should remain at what? Where it is today. I think it's 16 years. We are clear. So if the police are able to arrest anyone having sex with a minor, may God bless them. But we're worried about what's happening on the ground as a committee. So your recommendation should speak to that, because we're in the healthcare sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Allow me at this moment in time to thank the honorable members and also thank our visitor, Linda Swanyani, for a well-balanced presentation she gave us on issues related to the age of consent. I'm very happy that some issues related to sexual active minors has been cleared in terms of terminology.